From the PEP Radio Newsroom, we have this news from the U.S. House of Representatives. The House voted to pass a sweeping defense policy bill Wednesday that authorizes $900 billion in military programs, including a pay raise for troops and an overhaul of how the Department of Defense buys weapons. The bill's passage on a 312 to 112 vote comes at a time of increasing friction between the Republican-controlled Congress and President Donald Trump's administration over the management of the military. The annual National Defense Authorization Act typically gains bipartisan backing, and the White House has signaled strong support for the must-pass legislation, saying it is in line with Trump's national security agenda. Yet, tucked into the over 3,000-page bill are several measures that push back against the Department of Defense, including a demand for more information on boat strikes in the Caribbean and support for allies in Europe, such as Ukraine. Overall, the sweeping bill calls for 3.8% pay raise for many military members, as well as housing and facility improvements on military bases. It also strikes a compromise between the political parties, cutting climate and diversity efforts in line with Trump's agenda, while also boosting congressional oversight of the Pentagon and repealing several old war authorizations. Still, hardline conservatives said they were frustrated that the bill does not do more to cut U.S. commitments overseas. We need a ready, capable, and lethal fighting force because the threat to our nation, especially those from China, are more complex and challenging than at any point in the last 40 years, said Representative Mike Rogers, the GOP chair of the House Armed Services Committee. Lawmakers overseeing the military said the bill would change how the Pentagon buys weapons, with an emphasis on speed after years of delay by the defense industry. It's also a key priority for Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. Representative Adam Smith, the top Democrat on the Armed Services panel, called the bill the most ambitious swing at acquisition reform that we've taken. Still, Smith lamented that the bill does not do as much as Democrats would like to rein in the Trump administration, but called it a step in the right direction towards reasserting the authority of Congress. The biggest concern I have is that the Pentagon, being run by Secretary Hegseth and by President Donald Trump, is simply not accountable to Congress or accountable to the law, he said. The legislation next heads to the Senate, where leaders are working to pass the bill before lawmakers depart Washington for a holiday break. That's what we know for now. Reporting from the PEP Radio Newsroom, I'm David Moore.